Is Shonen really dead? What's good, y'all? Shauna Great here, and I'm trying something a little bit different. Um, Something that I've kind of contemplated on for a while. Now, if you didn't know, uh, it could be a bunch of like new folks in. I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this video, but um, I play games on on YouTube. I actually stream a little bit at Sean the Great on YouTube. Y'all can check that out if y'all feel like it. It's also linked. I've recently been, kind of maybe uninspired at the moment. Not saying that I'll stop doing it, but I wanna talk a little bit about something that I've actually come to love over the past 3-4 years, even more than what I thought I would. It reintroduced uh, literature for me in a big way. Like reading is something that I did not do a lot of in between my school years and now. I just wasn't doing a lot of reading in between uh what 5, 6, 7 years I've been out of high school. It's been something that's being reintroduced to me in a big way. It's starting in around that 2019 2020 time frame. Um, and it's reading manga. I got into it after I found out, about anime again. I rediscovered my love for anime. Um, Maybe like a few years, maybe like a year or two after I was in high school. And when I say I had like a deep dive into anime, it is like when I say I was watching just about everything that I could get my hands on, both legally and illegally, off the records. But you know how that goes. But anyways, um, you know, then I started reading manga. My Hero Academia was actually my first manga that I picked up and read and stuck with till the very end. Just ended this year. And regardless of how you feel about the ending, I feel like it's a solid ending for a shonen. Now, with that, put that to the side. I've been reading a lot of different manga in the past 2 to 3 years. I picked up Bleach for the first time in 2020, Black Clover in 2021, Chainsaw Man, just a whole slew of other like new popular series. On top of some of the older stuff like One Piece. I guess Bleach would count with that also. Anyways, I say all that to kind of talk about the state of shonen, and everybody thinks that it's dead all of a sudden. Now, there have been a few people that have spoke about it in the past, what, a couple months, because everybody's favorite manga series is ending. Black Clover is very close to its end. My Hero just ended like a month ago, officially. And then there's also Jujutsu Kaisen just ended officially, and probably one of the most polarizing ways that a manga series could end. Although there are like some rumblings about a part two, I could just chalk that up to like Twitter talk. But recently, there have been a lot of folks that have just been kind of on the fence about the state of shonen, like just the state of great storytelling from manga. And I'm just like, why do we feel like it's not going in a right direction? You feel me? You can take this how you want. This is just my opinions at the end of the day, but I just kind of want to speak on that a little bit. So this year has kind of been, I think, a very actually in the past couple years have been uh, a whirlwind of crazy events going on in the world of in real world, of course, but in the world of manga also. You have your Jujutsu Kaisens and your big battles and stuff like that, and then My Hero has also had its final like battle arc, like big battle arc and stuff. And then like I said, One Piece has really been popping off in the last 4 or 5 years. One Piece is going crazy right now. And there are a lot of established series that are actually in like there's something huge happening in them right now. And everybody's just kind of looking at this and being like, okay, but when these series end, what do we have? Now, recently, in the big scare of, everybody's favorite manga ending, there's also a big, scare of like what the next big manga series is going to be and what the flagship is going to be. And everybody's obviously looking towards places like Shonen Jump, the biggest manga publisher in the world. That everybody kind of looks to them to kind of have these answers, um, because that's where everybody's favorite manga is most of the time. Like, of course, you could have those that have their favorites that might not be published by Shonen Jump. It might be published by Kodansha or something like that, But for the most part, Shonen Jump is the big premier shonen website to read manga. And even though that physical media is they're trying to kill it. They're trying to take out. Also, manga apps are getting a lot more accessible. I think Kodansha has a manga app now. Viz also has like a little manga app. That most of that stuff is kind of merged with Shonen Jump's library, because you have like the different branches of Shonen Jump, obviously. And yeah, it's getting to where like libraries are kind of getting meshed together. If you look at big companies like Crunchyroll, they're trying to, but that is a whole nother topic that I have to talk about, where everything's just kind of getting split up. And it's getting harder to kind of know where to find certain anime series. I digress. When it comes down to the actual like shonen series, right? Everybody's afraid of what happens next, especially after the passing of the late great Akira Toriyama. Rest in peace to Akira Toriyama. Dragon Ball Z was my first anime that I ever watched. I never read the manga, but my brother is an avid reader of Dragon Ball Super right now. Akira Toriyama is a legend. He basically grandfathered in anime. He's responsible for one of the most influential pieces of media of all time. And that's something that you just can't take away from him or Dragon Ball. With that being said, there is something to say about the generation afterwards, and everybody's getting afraid that the generation afterwards is going to suffer without like some big series, paving the way forward. And I gotta say, I don't understand why everybody's so up in arms about it. It's plenty of other good series out here. If you're actually looking and you're not just reading the same thing, if you're not just reading one or two or three different manga, then you would know that there are other series out. Sometimes you have to look for those. I spend a good more than I should amount of time on Twitter, and whilst it can be a cesspool sometimes, it can also be a good place to connect with other folks. And you get on there and you find a series that you didn't know existed, but it looks like something that you might be into, and you check it out and you might actually like the series. Good example is Sakamoto Days. I had heard about Sakamoto Days for about a year. I had never picked it up until now. And let me say that I have been missing out. Peak action. Sakamoto Days is this guy who is simple assassin story, where the guy, he was an assassin. Obviously, he was a dangerous dude in his past life, but he found a girl, he settled down, and he had a family and all that good stuff. And the basic premise is that he's just going to keep running into folks that want to bring him back into that life. It's serious and wacky at the same time. I'm not as far as what I could be in the manga, but I have a feeling that it turns really serious later on, because the action is insane. The action is actually crazy. If you ever looked at any like 2-page spreads in Sakamoto Days, some of the stuff that's happening is crazy. Now, obviously, his rule is not to kill, so that's something that he does not really pursue. But either way, You know, he's still dangerous, and there's something to be said about somebody that won't kill, but you know, has the means to incapacitate you. That takes skill. So he definitely could. Anyways, it's something that I should have picked up a while ago, but I'm reading it now and I'm enjoying it. You know, and I have, if you didn't know, I have a Twitter that I get on, and I usually live post a lot of my readings if I'm reading anything. I talk about other anime stuff too. It's like anime news and all that fun stuff. I talk about all that. I'm trying to be more frequent, kind of every day, talking about different things and stuff like that. But anyways, so yeah, Sakamoto Days has definitely been the talk of the town for the past year that it's been out. And now there's an anime series on the horizon. It's receiving an anime adaptation next year. I don't remember if we got an exact month, but it is supposed to be coming next year, and I will be checking it out because I saw the trailer and it looks hype. It looks pretty damn good. Another series I want to talk about that I actually picked up. What was that? Around like February or March? Earlier this year, basically. That's been on the back burner for me for months, and I knew that it existed all this time. I just never picked it up, and it's Dandadan. Now I think I have a weird taste when it comes to stories. I found that, you know, I don't typically migrate to the typical like generic stuff. For me, sometimes a crazy like wacky story is something that I'm looking for some reason. And I think I've been on that kind of weird wave since I started One Piece. Dandadan is a very unorthodox and strange series. It's got a lot of different things going on. It's a supernatural series. I love supernatural stuff. I'm all into like the wacky and crazy things with like all of the like historical, like mythological creatures and stuff like that. Um, like, you know, aliens and ghosts and spirits and all that stuff. It's just something that I've always been into. And Dandadan just kind of scratches all those weird itches that you have. You know, as crazy as that statement is that I just made, it definitely does do a lot of things, and it does it well. Usually, when a series tries to do a bunch of things different, it doesn't really come across well. Like and it all depends on the delivery, like everything, how it comes together. And the way Dandadan seems to, the way the creator seems to weave everything together, which is Yukinobu Tatsu. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that name right. Um, Everything just comes together, like all of the wacky and wild moments that happens, like all the different types of species that's brought into the equation. Now, obviously I'm a big fan of the like Chainsaw Man and stuff like that. With Chainsaw Man being the craziest thing that I've ever read in a manga panel, where I've just been picking up some really wacky stuff that you know, the story is just kind of crazy and the characters are all crazy, but there's some kind of emotional attachment to them all. And I seem to like stuff like that. Now it's what's funny is I'll talk about it in a second, but you know, the creator of the series that I'm about to name, there's actually some coincidence to it, but I'll get to that in a second. Dandadan has actually been going crazy in the past 8 to 9 months that I've been reading it. I caught up to Dandadan June or July, one of those. It was before the manga came off hiatus, and I finally caught up. And I gotta say, Dandadan might be my favorite new manga. Like, my favorite new gen manga might be Dandadan, right? Out of the Undead Unlucks, obviously, that's been popping off heavily lately. And the anime, of course, too, is what really got me into the manga. There's also this new manga series that's come out that is actually created by the same person that made. It's a collaboration of the of an author and an artist that both had their own successful manga. I know one person actually created Welcome to Demon School Iruma, if I remember correctly. And them and that other person have come together to create this series. It's called Ichi the Witch, and so far it's only like a one shot and in one other chapter, right? So it's two chapters out right now. And it's been looking pretty good. I haven't even talked about Kagurabachi and the friggin' takeover that has ensued just by its fandom alone. And they hype up 30 plus chapters. It's not even in its 100th chapter yet. It's not even at 50 chapters yet, I don't think, at the time of making this video. It's just so crazy how passionate folks are behind Kakurabachi. And I remember when that first dropped and I read like the first two chapters, and it seemed like it was something special, I will say. The art, I love the cover art from it. And then if you aren't reading Goku Rakugai, you have to pick up Goku Rakugai. The art is so beautiful. The only thing that I find issue with right now with Goku Rakugai is the release schedule. It comes out one chapter a month. You could get 20 pages, you could get 30 pages. Now that is a good plus. Sometimes they come with a few more pages than the last chapter. So, it's not always just 17, 18 pages. Sometimes it's like 20 or 30, which is fine. And it leaves me wanting more. So here's hoping that Goku Rakugai lasts for a while. I think the state of Shonen is fine, especially with stuff like Goku Rakugai and Dan, Undead Unluck, Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days. And then we have stuff like Ruri Dragon, who it's just started out after the author had like an extended hiatus due to their health, which I'm glad to see that they're back drawing again. I love to see that manga authors come back to their works, because it'd be unfortunate if it just stopped. But I just said all that to kind of say that Shonen will be okay. Shonen will be alright. We have some stuff to fall back on, I think. That was just me kind of yapping. I don't know what I'll talk about in the future on this channel, but every now and then I think I'd like to come on here and kind of talk about all of these, all the different manga and anime stuff that's happening every now and then. I might as well, if I'm not streaming or making video or playing a game or anything like that, because I can't help but not be in front of the camera, not on any like weird egotistical type things, but I just like talking. I like yapping. That is who I am. I like talking, and it just doesn't feel right not talking about certain things that I like talking about. And again, I have a Twitter. It's called animelover news. My ed is animelover Sean, and I talk about a lot of different manga and anime stuff. I share clips and talk about anything manga or anime. I also have a gaming channel at Sean the Great. And I try and stream every week, usually Monday through Thursday. And at the very least, I try and stream Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then I got work in between, so all that stuff, a bunch of different things. But I would like to make one of these videos every now and then to kind of, talk about different things that might be happening in the world of anime. And thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. If you somehow found yourself at the end of this video. And I'll see y'all in the next one.
must have seen it in a lifetime. Never would have imagined, not even in her mind. Practice in front of that mirror, now you doing it on the dance floor. Man, cause I can't get with you, just show me how to dance. I may not wanna get low, so I put it up kinda like a player do. But